Alright, I feel like I've been asked 150 times about this silly little thing. People ask how to make it, you know, what it takes, like how does it work, whatever. These are supposed to be some of the simplest firearms out there. I can't tell you how to make it. YouTube doesn't allow that. But what I'll do is show you what it is. Most of it I think will be fairly self-explanatory anyway. If you saw the last video on it, you'll notice that I spent way too long polishing it since. But, so this thing basically just unscrews. I think that much is self-explanatory. There's a cap. I think they call that a nipple, and a coupler, and then a right angle. Yeah, a million of you have mentioned what else you could do with that. I would say unscrew this and put a pin in it, just so you could pop the empty casings out. Obviously spring, that's what makes it work. The barrel, I will tell you, if you can see that, is rifled. Maybe you can't see that. Yeah, there you go. So it is rifled because it's a piece of brass with a Redmond liner pressed into it. So the Redmond liner is what's chambered and rifled. Kind of dirty, but yeah, it is rifled. So that helps make it legal. If it was not rifled, it would be falling into the category of a shotgun, which would require like a 18-inch barrel, 26 inches overall, etc., all that. So this is kind of what goes into making one of these things actually legal. Just a screw, which screws into this bolt, and the bolt, as I believe you can see, has a firing pin in it. Now that firing pin comes through, again, get the light in the right place. There is a breech block in there, and that firing pin comes through that. Now, as the barrel is threaded in, so is that breech block. There's a slot in the back of that breech block that basically threads it right in. So I can use a screwdriver. There you can see it coming out. There you go. Nothing crazy. But it's got a slot in it, just so I could screw it through there. And it's got a notch. A slot for the screwdriver, and then a hole for the firing pin to come through. So basically it just does that. And you know, that allows you to fit things up as you're creating one of these. The breech block makes it a little bit safer. Having like a half-cock notch or like a rebound firing pin, where this wouldn't be on fire with it closed, where the spring would only push it most of the way, and it would actually have to go forward and maybe even have like a rebound spring that would keep it back off of the round. That would make it safer. But as is, you know, these things aren't designed to be safe in general. They're just designed to be simple. So yeah, basically just get down to that, screw that back into place, and I actually tore this thing down earlier. I totally forgot I made this thing so the where that firing pin hole is in the breech block, it has to be lined up with the slot for the bolt. That is where, let's see if you can see this. The bolt and the or the hole in the bolt and the firing pin are in line. So when that goes through, you can't see it very well. When that goes through, that's also lined up for this screw. So there you can see it comes all the way out, and that's enough to set it off. I don't ever have any of this stuff like crazy tight. This spring is literally just enough to work. You can see it doesn't really stick out too far, and by the time it's inside of this, there's like almost no preload on it, but that makes it real easy to put together. And I keep it so the when the bolt is locked over, it's like right there, you can flip it like a trigger, bang, you know. Don't want to dry fire these because it will screw up the chamber. If I can get enough light where you need it. Maybe you can see, yeah, you can see a little bit there. It's chewed up. I had this out at a shoot, and you know, of course, the kids like playing with homemade guns. So, yeah, you got to be real careful with these. If you drop it with it loaded, it could definitely go off. It probably wouldn't, but it definitely could. And there's just like, as you're cocking it back, you know, that spring is probably way more than it needs. That's kind of risky because it could slip and go off. So you just have to be real careful with these things. I mean, any homemade gun, you're going to be super careful with it. You should be. But yeah, basically this was just a exercise in the cheapest, easiest way to make a gun that functions and is technically legal. So it's not obscure, it's not shaped like a pen or something that would hide or disguise the fact that it's a gun. So it's not an AOW, it is rifled, so it's not a short-barreled shotgun, or actually I think being under a certain length, even as a shotgun, makes it an AOW. It does have technically a grip that is perpendicular to the barrel, and it has a functioning trigger, bolt, and breech, all in what would be considered a receiver. So it's legal in reality. Brass has gone way up though, so you know, this isn't like a $5 item anymore. Yeah, I guess you could make one out of steel and maybe have $10 or $15 in it. Brass, yeah, you're pushing like $20. I don't know if that's worth it to make very many of them, but they're neat. Conversational piece. Like I said, show up at your buddy's house for a shoot with 100 people. People got machine guns and suppressors and everything else, and you pull this thing out. Yeah, people are like, hey, let me see that. Can I shoot it? That's cool. So anyway, not every homemade gun is glamorous or completely janky or illegal, but there's some in between. So get out there in the garage and make something cool. Hopefully it's cooler than this. Take care, guys.